Hello everyone, welcome to another video from Full Scope Freelancer, your all-in-one freelance business tool. Today we're going to look at how to set up a basic website from scratch so that we can walk you through a few of the more fundamental website builder functions so that you really understand how the website builder works, what you can do with it, and whether you build a site from scratch or use one of our templates and then tweak it to your own needs. Hopefully by the end of this video, you'll have a much better understanding of how you can create a beautiful website that helps your freelance business grab the attention of customers and ultimately get you more projects, more jobs, and bring you closer to your goals. So here we are in the website builder. I'm going to click new website. And like I said, we're going to start from scratch. So I'm just going to call this new website. And after a second, it will have created a new page. So when I open it up, this will be obviously completely blank. There's nothing to see under stats and sales until I actually have a site and I actually sell some products on it. Under the settings, you can do things such as add the domain for your site. You can add a favicon, just a link to the icon or the image from your media library, for example. You can do a couple other things with tracking, with the payments. I think a lot of these are self-explanatory, and I want to keep this video a bit more basic, so I won't go into depth on every single thing that we see on the screen. So for now, your domain, your favicon, the website name, and the path is also something we can ignore for now because we're going to define the path on the individual website pages. So let's go back to pages. We're going to add a new page. And let's just create a home page for our site. And the path will just be home for now. So I'm going to create from blank. And as you can see, blank truly means blank. There is nothing on the page. We're starting with a blank canvas. So let's take a look at how the website builder works. So first off, as you can see, we've automatically had the Add Elements tab opened for us. This is where we can basically drag and drop the building blocks of the website builder onto our page. This makes it much easier to work quickly and efficiently and structure and organize all the aspects of your website in a way that is visually pleasing and easy to navigate. So we'll start, for example, with a section. You can choose the section width. I'm going to start with full width. And then as you can see, once I have something on the page, I can either click Add Row here. I can, of course, go back to the Add Elements area, and I can also just add some rows, and rows will have a certain amount of columns in them. This is just how the order is. So it goes sections, rows, columns, and then elements. So I'm going to have, let's say, 2 columns here, because on the left, I want to add a navigation menu element. So here we go. Whoops, I clicked twice. And on the right, I want to have a button. So I'll find the button here. And then since I have 2 columns, I can actually just click in the middle and resize that how I want. So I'm going to put the button way on the right. And this is going to be, let's say, my subscribe button. So when I click on an element or a column or a row or a section, you can see I get different settings options on the right here. Settings for the spacing, for the colors, for sections, rows, columns, and elements will all also have their own individual settings, individual things you can do with them. So let's start with this button. So I don't like this green color very much. I can either go to the background color here and just click and change the color. I can also go under buttons. We have some button themes that you can start from. So let's just say that, I don't know, for me, this purple-ish button looks good. If I go back to general and scroll to the bottom, here's the text that appears in the button. I'm just going to change this, I don't know, to a subscribe button, something of that nature. And when you click the button action currently is to open a pop-up, but it can also, as you can see, do lots of other different things depending on how you want this button to work. Speaking of the pop-up, if we see on the top left here, we have some other different aspects of the website builder. And one of them is the pop-up settings. So every single page can have a pop-up. And then if, I don't know, if this is the subscribe button, maybe it opens the pop-up, and the pop-up has then your subscribe form. And let's see, I'll add a row, an element. Do I have a form? Oh, I do have a subscriber form in the test account. So boom, there we go. I already have a form. So you can see maybe I already have some purple in it, so it's almost fitting the branding that I've randomly chosen here. So I'll just leave that like that. Obviously, you can tweak this to look a little better on your own time. So cool, we've got a subscribe button. It opens a pop-up with a subscriber form. On the left, I have my navigation menu. I can, of course, also change how this looks, the business name, you know, my new business, let's call it. I can, if I go on the right here under the settings, you'll see the menu items. I can add and subtract menu items. I can create sub items under the different menu options. I can change the font size. I can change the colors. So hopefully a lot of this, like I said, is rather self-explanatory. So I'll leave it to you to snoop into this a little further. I'll just leave it with the basic setup for now. Under the section, let's say I want this to have a nicer look. So if I go to the section, I know that I can add a box shadow on the bottom. So now when I scroll down the page, I'll have this cool little shadow effect that's going to come with that header, and that will help just make it stand out a little more, no matter what the content is underneath of it. Did I just accidentally delete? Yeah, I did delete the, the nav menu. Luckily, we have an undo and redo button here on the top right, so don't worry if you make any mistakes. Now, coming back to this top left area, another important part of it is the typography settings. So if we go here, we can select two fonts that will auto-populate to all of the headlines and subheadlines, and then all of the content, which would be like the paragraph elements. So if I want, I can change this to just use Open Sans just as an example. And the other one I'll leave with Lato, I guess is how you say it. Probably not Lato. Lato sounds nicer, like a latte. And then if I want, I can set a default text color for all text and a default link color for all links. And this can just be a starting point. These are all starting points. Every individual text block, you can still go in and tweak these colors. So this is not like a, it must be this color for the entire website kind of thing. It's just a good default setting. So if you know most of the text on the page is going to be black or white, then you can select that color here, and then the few areas where it's different, you can then change it there in the individual settings. So cool, I've got a header, I've got my little menu, I've got a subscribe button. I'm not going to bother to make it look all too pretty for the purposes of this video, so let's move on and create another section. So I can, like I said, you can always go back to the Add Element button here, but if you'll notice when I'm hovering around, I can also add elements, rows, and sections with these little plus tools. So I'll add one here, and that just also opens up the same page. I'm going to add a full width again. I'm going to add a single column here. And this time I'm going to add a big fat headline. And let's say we're creating a photography site. So this will just be my photography business name. I'm really creative today. I'm on a roll, you can tell. Then I'll add another one column row. Since I'm doing photography, then I'm going to use the image slider element. And here I can add a bunch of images as part of a slideshow. I can make that slideshow auto-animate every certain amount of seconds so that when users show up on the page, they can see, the images just kind of going back and forth, get an impression of my work. So if I'm a photographer, or maybe, I don't know, I work with, this could be a place where you can showcase different projects of yours. That's another useful thing to do with the image slider. So if I wanted to select some images, I would just go down to the slider item here, click this Add Image button. As you can see, I don't have any images in this new website. Surprise, surprise, I haven't uploaded anything to the media library. If I was a photographer, I would upload my own pictures, but since I'm not, I'm just going to take advantage of the fact that we are connected with Unsplash. And I'm going to search for a wedding picture. This one looks nice. I like that. And then I can add as many slides as I want and tweak them to look nice for my photography business name. Beautiful, beautiful. All right, let's keep going. I'm going to go down and click Add again. This time I'm going to add just a wide section. I'm going to add a row, and I'm going to add 3 columns this time. And we're just going to create a My Services section on the page. So let's, while I'm thinking about it, let's give it actually another 1-column row. And, whoops. As you can see, I have accidentally dragged this row into the section above. And if I want it to be down here, I can try to drag and drop it. As you can see, sometimes it can be a bit finicky with the dragging and dropping, which is why we also have these arrow buttons. If I just click down, it will move that row down into the next section. And then I'm going to add another headline element, and I'm just going to write My Services here. And in these different columns, I can add a subheadline, and then I can add an image. And this, let's call this service number 1, and so on and so forth. And here, since I know I'm going to have 3 of basically the same layout, I can actually go hover over the column, and so you can see I have a duplicate or clone button. I'll just press that. I'll actually press it twice, and then I'll delete the other 2 columns. And now I have my layout exactly the way I want it. Sped up the process a little bit, and then I can add my services and the associated images really quickly and easily. Oh, moving on, maybe I want to let's do another wide section, and let's just skip straight to something like let's say a contact form, but rather than a contact form, let's do something a little more fun. Let's add a calendar. I do have a free consultation calendar from a different demo. So this is something I really recommend to a lot of freelancers in general, is that rather than have a contact form, unless you have a very well thought out contact form that asks for very specific information that you maybe need all at once to start a project, depending on your business, starting off the conversation with a free or an initial call with a potential customer is a great way for you to really get that direct connection to them right away, rather than that kind of less personal email connection. And especially if someone is, wants to talk to you about something as important as, let's say, their wedding, if this is a wedding photography site, they want to see your face, they maybe want to meet you in person. And rather than start that relationship off with this like back and forth emailing, like, oh, hey, nice to hear, about your wedding. Let's like meet and talk about it. When do you have time? Oh, I don't have time then. When do you have time? Blah, blah, blah. We all know that a terrible back and forth trying to schedule meetings with people and with clients. Rather than doing that, just add your calendar online, make it available for them. That way they can quickly and easily look at your calendar, look at their own calendar, pick a slot that works for them. It's totally hands-off for you, and it speeds up the process for them, and it just makes everything easier and reduces the friction for them to take that first step to contact you and to schedule a time to speak with you about their problems. And obviously you're going to swing in and be the hero of the day that solves all their problems for them. And the calendar option, I think, is for most people going to be way better, more personal, and gets people further along in that business relationship than just simply like an email or a text. So it's my preferred method, but obviously you can choose for yourself. So I'm going to skip any other potential sections. Like obviously you could have an About Me section, or you can have some reviews. all of these things, though, let's just open up the elements. You can add videos, you can add frequently asked questions. We've got surveys, we've got calendars. You can add custom code and embed things from other websites. Got countdowns in case you're having a sale and you want the people to know when it's ending. All of these different options are available to you. So I'm going to speed this up a little bit by not going through all of them individually. And let's just add one more section to this page. It's going to be full width. It's going to be our footer. So let's just say, for the sake of argument, that the footer should look a little different. I'm going to change the background color. Let's say I don't like these colors. I want to add my own custom colors. I want to add my brand colors, obviously. So I can come down here and choose some. I'm going to go with a dark purple, since that's the full scope Freelancer brand color, which I like quite a bit. That looks pretty good. And I click add color. The system also saves that color, so if I want to use it elsewhere for text or for other purposes, then I'll have this purple now everywhere I go. And then I'm going to add another 2-column row. On the left, I'm going to add I'll add text on the left. And on the right, I'll add social media icons. And here, I double-clicked again. Here you can, we've got some standard social media elements available, so you can just, again, speed up the process of getting these integrated onto your site. Maybe if you're a photographer, I don't know, maybe you don't use X, and maybe you don't use YouTube, but you use the other 4. So I'm going to display, I don't think the text needs to be underneath, so I'll just display the icons. I'm going to put them on the right side. I'm going to change the look. Ooh, that looks nice. I like that. Looks a lot nicer than what I had before. And then on the left, I'm going to change the text color to white. And I'm just going to, I don't know, like on the left, I'll probably write, again, my business name. I'll align the text on the left. And then maybe I'll do something like the terms and privacy policy. And any text I can also just highlight and change the settings here. And in this case, I would probably add links to these words so that if people click on it, they actually go to the terms or privacy page. And that's about it. So we've got a basic website layout. It's not going to win an award for design anytime soon, but I think it does what it needs to do. And you can imagine how, of course, you can then start tweaking this for your own business and make it look a lot nicer than I have here. So a couple final things we're going to do is we're going to save some of these sections. So you can save any section as either just a section template, or you can also save it as a global section, which means this is content that will be displayed across various pages of your website. And if you update it on one page, you want it to auto-update across all the other pages as well. So the most likely culprit for that is going to be our header, or with the navigation menu. That's going to be on all of our website pages. And if we tweak it on one page, we want it to be changed automatically everywhere else. So I'm going to go to the left and click the save icon. I'll just say, I'll just call it header, and I will add it to the global sections. Once I do that, you can now see that it has this purplish color, which indicates that it's a global section. So anytime I tweak anything on this and save the page, I'll see a little pop-up that says, are you sure you want to save this? It's a global section. It will be changed across all of the pages, just to remind you in case you accidentally did something you didn't want to. And then I would do the same thing on the footer, because I'm probably going to use that in other parts of my website as well. So boom, now I have some global sections saved. I've got the basic layout done. So now when I click save, the system is first going to tell me, hey, you don't have any SEO stuff written down for your website. So this is where I can come and add a a website title that will be displayed in the browser. I can add a description. This is my business description. I can add some keywords for search engines. So in this case, I might add photography, wedding, etc., etc. If I have a social media image, that's that little image that will be displayed if you share the link to your site on Facebook or on Twitter and other places. But I think that's enough for now. So I'll update that, and now my website can be saved. And I can, of course, click preview, and it will bring me to a preview layout of my website page. As you can see, my slider has actually that auto animate already on, so every couple seconds it would change to the next picture, and it would just go in a loop. And I've got my website, or rather my calendar, where people can look around and see if there's any free slot available for them to talk to me. I've got my social media stuff down here, and it's looking pretty good. It's a great first start, considering we've only been at it for 20 minutes or so. The layout's there. Everything is the way it should be. Now it would be just your job to go in and obviously make this the best website it can be for your freelance business. And hopefully this short tutorial has helped you to understand how you might go about doing that. If you have any other questions, just feel free in your account to reach out to our support anytime. They'll be able to help you. And we'll be coming back with more detailed tutorials about building websites and about the specific aspects of the website builder in future videos. So stay tuned for that as well. And of course, if you don't have an account with Fullscope Freelancer, you can head over to fullscopefreelancer.com. You can try it out for 14 days free on us. We don't restrict you in any way during the free trial, so you've got full access to the software. You can do anything you want with it, and you will see, hopefully, after 2 weeks, that this is absolutely the best all-in-one freelance business tool that money can buy on the internet right now. So check it out today, and we look forward to seeing you inside.